Last question, 2 of 2. What's entropy, Daddy? Shrilled Girardet 2. Entropy, little sweet, is just a word which means the amount of running down of the universe. Everything runs down, you know, like your little walkie-talkie robot, remember? Can't you just put a new power unit in, like with my robot? Well, the stars are power units, dear. Once they're gone, there are no more power units. Girardet 1 at once set up a howl. Don't let them, Daddy, don't let the stars run down. Now look what you've done, whispered Girardine, exasperated. How was I supposed to know it would frighten him? Girard whispered back. Ask the microvac, wailed Girardet 1. Ask him how to turn the stars on again. Well, go ahead, said Girardine. It will quiet them down. Girardet 2 was beginning to cry as well. Girard shrugged. Now, honeys, I'll ask microvac. Don't worry, he'll tell us. He asked the microvac, adding quickly, print the answer. Girard cupped the strip of thin cellular film and said cheerfully, See now, the microvac says it will take care of everything when the time comes, so don't worry. Girardine said, Now, children, it's time for bed. We'll be in our new home soon. Girard read the words on the cellular film again before destroying it. Insufficient data for a meaningful answer. He shrugged and looked at the visiplate. X-23 was just ahead. VJ-23X of Lameth stared into the black depths of the three-dimensional small-scale map of the galaxy and said, Are we ridiculous, I wonder, in being so concerned about the matter? MQ-17J of Nikron shook his head. I think not. You know, the galaxy will be filled in 5 years at the present rate of expansion. Both seemed in their early 20s. Both were tall and perfectly formed. Still, said VJ-23X, I hesitate to submit a pessimistic report to the Galactic Council. I wouldn't consider any other kind of report. Stir them up a bit. Yeah, we've got to stir them up. VJ-23X sighed. Space is infinite. 100 billion galaxies are there for the taking. More. 100 billion is not infinite, and it's getting less infinite all the time. Consider, 20,000 years ago, mankind first solved the problem of utilizing stellar energy, and a few centuries later, interstellar travel became possible. It took mankind 1,000,000 years to fill one small world, then only 15,000 years to fill the rest of the galaxy. Now the population doubles every 10 years. VJ-23X interrupted. We can thank immortality for that. Very well, immortality exists, and we have to take it into account. I admit it has its seamy side, this immortality. The galactic AC has solved many problems for us, but in solving the problem of preventing old age and death, it has undone all its other solutions. Yet you wouldn't want to abandon life, I suppose. Nah, not at all, snapped MQ-17J, softening it at once to, Not yet. I'm by no means old enough. How old are you? 223. And you? I'm still under 200. But to get back to my point, population doubles every 10 years. Once this galaxy is filled, we'll have filled another in 10 years, another in 10 years, we'll have filled 2 more. Another 10 years, and we'll have filled 2 more. Another decade, 4 more. In another 100 years, we'll have filled 1,000 galaxies. In 1,000 years, 1,000,000 galaxies. In 10,000 years, the entire known universe. Then what? VJ-23X said, as a side issue, there's a problem of transportation. I wonder how many sun power units it will take to move galaxies of individuals from one galaxy to the next. A good point. Already, mankind consumes 2 sun power units per year. Most of it's wasted, after all. Most of it's wasted. After all, our own galaxy alone pours out 1,000 sun power units a year, and we only use 2 of those. Granted, but even with 100% efficiency, we'll only stave off the end. Our energy requirements are growing up in a geometric progression, even faster than our population. We'll run out of energy even sooner than we run out of galaxies. A good point, a very good point. Yeah, we'll just have to build new stars out of the interstellar gas. Or out of dissipated heat? Asked MQ-17J sarcastically. There may be some way to reverse entropy. We ought to ask Galactic AC. VJ23X was not really serious, but MQ17J pulled out his AC contact from his pocket and placed it on the table before him. You know, I've half of mine too, he said. It's something the human race will have to face one day. He stared somberly at the small AC contact. It was only 2 inches cubed, nothing in itself, but it was connected through hyperspace with a great galactic AC that served all mankind. Hyperspace considered, it was an integral part of the galactic AC. MQ-17J paused to wonder if someday in his immortal life he would get to see the galactic AC. It was on a little world of its own, a spider webbing of force beams holding the matter within, which surges of sub-masons took the place of the old clumsy molecular valves. Yet despite its sub-etheric workings, the galactic AC was known to be 1,000 feet across. MQ-17J asked suddenly of his AC contact, "Can entropy ever be reversed?" VJ23X looked startled at this at once and said at once, "Oh, say, I didn't really mean to have you ask that." "Why not?" "We both know entropy can't be reversed. You can't turn smoke and ash back into a tree." "Do you have trees on your world?" asked MQ-17J. The sound of galactic AC startled them both into silence. Its voice came thin and beautiful out of the small AC contact on the desk, and it said, "There is insufficient data for a meaningful answer." VJ23X said, "See?" The two men thereupon returned to the question of the report they were to make to the Galactic Council. Z-Prime's mind spanned the new galaxy with a faint interest in countless twists of stars that had powdered it. He had never seen this before. Would he ever see them all? So many of them, each with its own load of humanity, but a load that was almost a dead weight. More and more, the real essence of men was to be found out here, in space. Minds, not bodies. The immortal bodies remained back on the planets in suspension over the eons. Sometimes they roused for material activity, but that was growing rarer. Few new individuals were coming into existence to join the incredibly mighty throng. But what matter? There was little room in the universe for new individuals. Z-Prime was roused out of his reverie upon coming across the wispy tendrils of another mind. "I am Z-Prime," said Z-Prime. "And you?" "I am D-Sub-1. Your galaxy?" "We call it only the galaxy. And you?" "We call ours the same. All men call their galaxy, and nothing more." "Why not?" "Yeah, true, since all galaxies are the same." "Well, not all galaxies. On one particular galaxy, the race of man must have originated. That makes it different." Z-Prime said. "Well, on which one? I can't say. The Universal AC would know. Shall we ask him? I'm suddenly curious." Z-Prime's perceptions broadened until the galaxies themselves shrank and became a new, more diffuse powdering on a much larger background. So many hundreds of billions of them, all with their immortal beings, all carrying their load of intelligences with minds that drifted freely through space. And yet one of them was unique among them all, in being the original galaxy. One of them had, in its vague and distant past, a period when it was the only galaxy populated by man. Z-Prime was consumed with curiosity to see this galaxy, and he called out, "Universal AC, on which galaxy did mankind originate?" The Universal AC heard, for on every world and throughout space it had its receptors ready, and each receptor led through hyperspace to some unknown point where the Universal AC kept itself aloof. Z-Prime knew of only one man whose thoughts had penetrated within sensing distance of the Universal AC, and he reported only a shining globe 2 feet across, difficult to see. "But how can that be all the Universal AC?" Z-Prime had asked. "Most of it," had been the answer, "is in hyperspace. In what form it is there, I cannot imagine. Nor could anyone. For the day had long since passed, Z-Prime knew, when any man had any part in the making of Universal AC. Each Universal AC designed and constructed its successor. Each, during its own existence of 1,000,000 years or more, accumulated the necessary data to build a better, more intricate, more capable successor in which its own store of data and individuality would be submerged. The Universal AC interrupted Z-Prime's wandering thoughts, not with words, but with guidance. Z Prime's mentality was guided to the dim sea of galaxies, and one in particular, enlarged into stars. A thought came, infinitely distant, but infinitely clear. This is the original galaxy of man. But it was the same, after all, the same as any other, and Z Prime stifled his disappointment. D Sub-Woon, whose mind had accompanied the others, said suddenly, "And is one of the stars the original star of man?" The Universal AC said, "Man's original star has gone nova. It is a white dwarf." "Did the men upon it die?" asked Z Prime, startled without thinking. The Universal AC said, "A new world, as in such cases, was constructed for their physical bodies in time." "Yes, of course," said Z Prime, but a sense of loss overwhelmed him even so. His mind released its hold on the original galaxy of man, let it spring back and lose itself among the blurred pinpoints. He never wanted to see it again. D Sub-Woon said, "What's wrong?" "Well, the stars are dying. The original star is dead." "Well, they must all die, shouldn't they?" "But then all energy is gone. Our bodies will finally die, and you and I with them." "That'll take billions of years." "I do not wish it to happen even after billions of years." Universal AC, "How may the stars be kept from dying?" D Sub-Woon said in amusement, "You're asking how entropy can be reversed into action." And the Universal AC answered, "There is as yet insufficient data for a meaningful answer." Z Prime's thoughts fled back to his own galaxy. He gave no further thought to D Sub-Woon, whose body might be waiting on a galaxy a trillion light years away, or on the star next to Z Prime's own. It didn't matter. Unhappily, Z Prime began collecting interstellar hydrogen out of which to build a small star of his own. If the stars must someday die, at least some may yet be built. Man considered with himself, "You know what? Damn it, I'm going to have to do this into a third recording." This ends this portion of Isaac Asimov's The Last Question. 2 of 3.